change their name back to the Redskins. Trump threatened to block the team's stadium deal in Washington if they don't comply, though it's unclear how he could enforce this. The Commanders left Washington in 1997, but plan to return to the district with a new stadium at the old RFK site. Pending approval by the D.C. Council, Mayor Muriel Bowser has urged swift council action with public hearings set for July 29. Trump also called on the Cleveland Guardians to revert their formal name, the Indians, claiming that Native Americans want the change. Both team name changes were made amid criticism of racist stereotypes. Trump insisted times have changed and urged team owners to get it done, tying his appeal to his political slogan. Now we move on to Europe. A government review has ruled out nationalizing the water industry in England and Wales. Despite criticism over pollution, debt and dividends, the report says the current regulatory system isn't working and calls for stronger rules, including separate regulators for England and Wales. It also says tougher action is needed to tackle sewage dumping and boost investment. But ministers say public ownership is not the answer, despite growing political pressure. Now we're joined by Joshua Barnes. Thank you, Joshua, for joining us. What more can you tell us about this situation in UK?
Well, yes, Asuma, the situation around water companies has been a contentious topic for a long time. Public discontent over the rising costs of water bills, but also after studies and reviews into the level of pollutants in many of the rivers across the United Kingdom. Now, individual sewage leakages are at play. We've had issues surrounding infrastructure issues, but this also goes into the amount of sewage that is knowingly being pumped into the waterways of the United Kingdom. Questions raised, and this report is really looking into that. It's a multifaceted report that is looking at the water industry in the United Kingdom as a whole. Now, this report has clearly said that the current governing body, known as Ofwats, need abolishing and a shift is needed. But as you've mentioned, the government have spoken out and said that they're not going to nationalise the water systems. To provide some context, each region within the United Kingdom is operated by a separate water company. Now, these have their own pricing, have their own issues, and price increases is a huge topic of conversation amongst residents. This report also suggesting that water bills could go up by as much as 30% in some regions, and it could be the consumers that are taking the cost of these repairs and infrastructure changes that are needing in a system that is outdated. One for us to definitely keep an eye on here on NewsX World.
Thank you very much, Joshua, for sharing that. Now we move on to our next news. US President Donald Trump posted an AI-generated video